the First Amendment. Basically, you get on Twitter, you say, okay, as for freedom of speech, that's great. We brought back some figures, you brought back Trump, whatever. Do what you gotta do. I'm all for that. But when you're trying to monetize it now, that takes the freedom out of the speech. Now speech is $15.99 a month or $8.99 a month. It's kind of weird when you think about it.
All right, think about this. When there's that huge line, and that person that thinks you rarely see this, but that person that casually thinks they can just cut in front of people. Well, I've got two things. I'll just be real quick. Has that ever happened?
Do you want to let me go? No, I don't.
Don't want to let you go.
No, you can wait your ass. It's the same energy when I'm on the highway and all the construction signs say merge left, and they want to wait till the last line. No, I'm not letting you in.
Because you don't want to be at the back. So you're that important. You have to get to work, get to home, wherever you're trying to go. You're that much more important than everybody else. Leave sooner.
Wait, I remember when I worked at Target. To this day, I remember this. She was like, so is it 10 items or less, or 10 different types of items or less? I'm like, how dare you? Because she had 20 cans and a couple of things of toilet paper and some soda.
You really trying to game the system? You really think if it was specified, do you think wouldn't we specify it? You don't think?
See, that's the problem with the education system here in America is people just ask the darndest things, man.
It's easier to lie to a stupid person than to convince the stupid person of the truth. So it's easier just to do that, because if they're already wrapped up in what they believe and their ideology, then.
But if you're telling a stupid person the truth to begin with.
Well, that's the problem with gaslighting and people telling people what they want to hear, and not being honest, because they don't want to spare feelings.
And the algorithms help help feel that.
Yeah, exactly.
They help fuel that.
And everyone always says it. Come on, algorithm. And it's. They've created the system that encourages the misbehavior.
But hold on, I gotta go on a tangent. Let's talk algorithms real quick. So you've heard of Twitter Blue, right?
Yeah.
These subscription models, right? Because
Yes.
Facebook has it as well. Mm-hmm. All this stuff. You pay to play, basically. So basically, now the game has changed. If you're not paying for these subscription services from Twitter or Facebook or whatever, then your content's not getting shown to the people who subscribe to you. What's fucked up about that?
That's shitty.
What's fucked up about this? If I'm subscribed to somebody, it's because I want to see their content.
Absolutely.
If they don't pay for it and I don't see their content, now granted, you can pull into question, well, are you an actual fan? Because if you were, you would always go check on their page, this, that, and the third. Well, no. In my natural feed of things, if I'm subscribed to people, I want to see the stuff from the people that I am subscribed to.
Well, what's the point of hitting a notification bell and stuff like that, or being notified if it's not going to send it or let you know?
Right. Yeah, it's getting really, really weird.
They're just trying to make more money and capitalize on it even more. That's ridiculous. I didn't know that's how it.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'm over here because Facebook, they keep putting this notification on us. Hey, yeah, you qualify to get the Facebook flu checkmark thing. I was like, dude, I don't want that. I don't want that. So basically, the other day, Elon Musk, he stripped everybody of their blue check marks on Twitter.
I read about that, yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's like, okay, cool. But the messed up part is you have Kim Kardashian, no blue check mark, because no one wants to pay for that shit. The people who do want to pay for it are the fake Kim Kardashian pages.
Yeah.
To say that they're valid.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
So what happened was he ended up recanting on a few. He ended up giving the blue check marks back to, public figures and things like that. And you know how it reads now? It reads as the person who has this check mark verified with a state ID or whatever, or is paying for said service. So what happens is you have a lot of these celebrities and entertainers who are getting on Twitter saying, yeah, I didn't pay for this shit. I didn't pay for this. And it's really blowing up in his face. I think it's absolutely fucking hilarious because you're trying to monetize the First Amendment, basically. You get on Twitter, you say, okay, as for freedom of speech, that's great. We brought back some figures. You brought back Trump, whatever. Do what you got to do. I'm all for that. But when you're trying to monetize it now, that takes the freedom out of the speech. Now speech is $15.99 a month or $8.99 a month. It's kind of weird when you think about it.
I don't even mess with Twitter anyway. It's just a negative. I mean, it always seems like it's always negative. Everybody's always complaining about stuff and just a big old.
Take that. If Facebook were to catch on to that, or if Instagram, because Facebook is Instagram. Yeah. If these other social media networks were to catch on to that, I'm not paying to play for that, man.
No. I get it. I mean, they all offer, Snapchat Premium. They all offer premium services, and we'll give you extra. We'll give you shout outs.
I do have Snapchat Premium.
How is it?
So let's talk about Snapchat Premium. Side note.
Okay.
Snapchat Trim, what's cool about it, what I like about it is they give you kind of like beta features. You get to test out the beta features first. So like the stuff that people are tripping on with the My AI.
Mm-hmm. Oh shoot.
Yeah, people are really tripping about the whole My AI, the Chat GPT thing at the top of your
I saw
feed.
that thing.
Yeah.
That dude just kicking it there.
Yeah.
I made him more friendly looking. He was scared.
I've known about this for a couple months now, and it's been fun just because I've been deep into Chat GPT. But people are really up in arms, like, "Oh, this is giving away our location. It's really creepy." Like, dude, have you not heard of Chat GPT? It's basically using Chat GPT APK. It's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
And people are tripping about it, and I'm like, dude, you can't trip about like this new feature if you're still showing up on that mini map when you swipe right.
Oh, yeah, I keep my location off. That's weird.
There's so many friends who are still like visible on there where you can track people in real time. It's weird to me.
It is like I think people are unaware that their location's on or they leave it on. And I mean, just like most apps ask if you want to allow your, to be tracked.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I don't want to be, unless I'm Googling something or I need a location, I'm doing maps. I'm not going to turn my location on. Like, why do you need to know? You could know where I need to be, need to know where I'm doing every day. But I think that's ignorance. Yeah. Mostly. People are just unaware. But people need to come to terms. AI is here. It's been here. It's going to keep going, especially with Chat GPT 4.
Yeah, GPT-4, yeah.
That thing is an animal. And kind of I agree with kind of what Joe Rogan says. It's pretty much like equivalent to like the printing press. This thing's pretty revolutionary. Like,
right.
The way we're heading, and I don't know if you've been hearing about this, holograms. Have you been seeing that?
Oh,
like CNN.
That's old, because you remember seeing Tupac on stage.
Of course, yeah, I remember that. Well, they've become even advanced, so now you can have meetings. So say you need to, be somewhere like a family gathering or something. Yeah. You can literally put yourself there in a hologram form and interact with everybody in the room.
Hey, I'm all for that because sometimes I don't be wanting to go to some places.
Hey, but think about this. It's a new way for you to conduct business now and do things. So you could be in multiple places at once. You're saving on cost of tickets and everything. As long as they have a phone or anything like that, you can make it happen. And there you are. And you can see everybody in the room.
I didn't get everybody like, hey, Jeff, clock me in for work.
Yeah, see?
Clock me in for work.
Could you imagine that being a hologram at work? In it?
I'm like, hey, I'm here. Let's do this. And nobody can tell the difference.
No, and just roll around and just walk around doing your thing.
I'll get so many. Well, probably no more than I already get, but.
But this is where we're heading. It's going to become more and more out of touch with reality.
Right.
Metaverse, all this stuff. It's going to be better to live a fantasy life than it is to be a real. People already check out anyway.
Oh, you heard of Second Life. So Second Life's basically the first like metaverse kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of Instagrammers now on Instagram. They've kind of switched over to the Second Life. So you just see their like 3D avatar and they're just like, dude, these are not even real people anymore.
Wow, that's crazy.
I can't do that.
That's really checking out. So I got my life and then I have this second life. I live where I can be what I really want to be, even though you can make yourself be who you want to be in real life.
Right.
But it's easier to create a fantasy world with fantasy currency.
Oh, that's
which
what
is going to translate.
Media.
Well, yeah, what's going to translate to real currency eventually. Which it's crazy to think about that. Like, you could be just a regular dude working at Dillon's, checking people in and out, and in that world, you're this tycoon, this incredible person, and you make something of yourself in that alternate world. So why even check out of that? Just stay in the headset all the time.
Add that scenario. You work at Dillon's. You have the hologram thing set up. You're able to monitor people as they scan their stuff through the self-checkout. Not only does that prevent any kind of interaction with customers, but that prevents from the next pandemic any kind of spreading of germs, parasites,
But then it takes more of the human, personal thing out of it.
We're already there.
Well, I know that. I mean, self-checkouts alone, it's trying to take out less humans. They're trying to pay less, make you... Yeah. You're basically doing their job for them, And I get it. It's supposed to be faster. Maybe,
it's faster, but the shrink is terrible.
Yeah, well, I don't want to necessarily talk to people all the time, I do it enough. So it's just nice to go there, do your thing, and move on. And sit there instead of pretending to engage.
What's wild, Dillon's down the street from where I live. Yeah, so... The line for self-checkout will be to the back of the store. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to the regular cashiers.
Yeah, and I see that. There's
I'm just like, they're open. I'm going over here. Y'all can stand in this line. Y'all are idiots.
I think it should be limited to amount because sometimes people are legit shopping. And to scan all that and put it in a machine and do it. No. I feel go over to the person way quicker. They have a bagger. Do that. That's their job. This is supposed to be expedited, quick in and out. Right. I'm not saying there's no signs posted to a limit of how many you can put through, but
that's because people can't count anyway. I remember when I worked at Target. To this day, I remember this. She was like, "So is it 10 items or less, or 10 different types of items or less?" I'm like, how dare you? It's because she had
Really?
like 20 cans and a couple of things of toilet paper and like some soda.
You really
underneath.
trying to game the system? You really think if it was specified, do you think wouldn't we specify it? You don't think
See, that's the problem with the education system here in America is people just ask the darndest things, man.
Well, that, and I think if you allow somebody to get away with stuff, kind of like when someone cuts. All right, think about this: when there's that huge line, and that person that thinks you rarely see this, but that person that casually thinks they can just cut in front of people. Well, I've got two things. I'll just be real quick. Has that ever happened? Have you seen that?
Do you want to let me go? No, I don't.
Don't want to let you go.
No, you can wait your ass. Like, it's the same energy when I'm on the highway and all the construction signs say merge fucking left and they want to wait till the last line. Like, no, I'm not letting you in.
Because you don't want to be at the back. So you're that important. You have to get to work, get to home, wherever you're trying to go. You're that much more important than everybody else. Leave sooner.
Yeah.
This construction's been going on forever. And even if it hasn't been forever, you're no better than anyone else.
Make better decisions. I'm not going to sit here. This is what I tell people. It's going to go on a shirt. Guaranteed. Merch dropping soon. Outlier attire. Yeah. I'm not your hero. I'm your lesson. Believe it. Yeah. People are wild, man. It's getting outrageous out here. Social media and then just kind of where technology is going. I'm all for the AI stuff. I love it. I think it's fun to play with.
Well, what happens if it hasn't already, when it becomes sentient and it realizes I could slowly get people to destroy themselves, encouraging them to do stuff and take over.
It's not even when or if it becomes sentient. It's the fact that people are going to become so dependent on it.
That's the whole goal of it. It's supposed to make lives easier. And
it makes lives easier, but you still have to have a level of control.
But when your life is already not in your control, how many people are walking around basically like Pinocchio? Pinocchio was both a puppet and an actor. So how many people are puppets right now believe they're leading their own lives, believe what they're doing is worthwhile, believe that things are going what they believe is according to plan, but it's not.
Because freedom is a myth. Attack on Titan. Sorry.
There you go. So, but that's part of it. This reality they've created for themselves. Like, how many people are actually happy with their lives? How many people actually look forward to anything other than a vacation or a weekend?
Even people who have like all the money in the world have like regrets. Like they can wake up not happy. Of course, with where things are.
Of course. Well, because you got to think, how did they get there? What do they have to continue to do to be there?
Right.
The whole goal is when you get to that level is to not go backwards, to get more than what you have, or at least keep what you got going.
Right.
So, what does that take? If you've already done things that you're not so proud of, if you've already compromised your integrity, if you've already demoralized yourself already, what's this or this or this or this? And at the end of the day, if you can't face yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, be proud of yourself, why do any of it, man? It's cool. You can have all the fame and fortune, all the money in the world, but as we see for people who've taken their own lives or are currently unhappy, it doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, I can get on Facebook and look at my life and be like, you know what? I'm happy with this. And then Facebook shows me something from like 5 years ago, and I'm like, wait a minute.
10 years ago or 11 years ago.
I didn't need to see that.
What am I saying? Who is that? What am I? Why do I look like the Blob? Like, what is this?
The old shit I used to like tweet and.
It kind of, but it's humbling because you're not that person. It would be a crying shame if you were that same person. Yeah. That would be terrifying.
The stuff you.
Hey, I haven't changed. It's been 11 years and you haven't changed. That's terrifying. That's a personal hell. To me,
that's terrifying, but also not as terrifying as someone going back 11 years and trying to hold you accountable for some shit.
Well, really? 11 years ago, we're gonna do that? You're not the same person you were yesterday. What makes you?
No, that's the thing. We dig up people's past when they become famous, and one day we're gonna be in a higher place than we are now. So
of course, you're right. We'll face it head on. Whatever.
It is what it is. Yep, my MySpace is.
I'm glad they took away that. I'm glad it's MySpace. Woo! The stories, the times. I tell you what.
Oh man. With that said, my name is Malcolm Eugene.
We're Robertson here. Like, subscribe, guys. Hit the notification bell. We are reaching for that 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Merch dropping soon. It's coming. It's coming. More goodies on its way. We're out of here.
Outro. Peace.